How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Bass, and today we are yet again playing Project Zomboid. The series has been blowing up on the channel, and I cannot thank you enough to all those that have been watching, liking, commenting, and sharing with all your friends. I really do appreciate it. I also want to give a special thanks, especially to the people who have been giving me tips and tricks in the comments and sharing your ideas and what you do in your playthroughs. It really has helped me play this game when I'm not recording, so I can learn it better, to get you these series of events for each of these characters that I'm going to implement while I'm playing this game for your enjoyment and entertainment. So from the get-go, we had Rick Grimes as our first character. Can only give you a hint to what I might pick next. It's going to be another Walking Dead character. I thought I would just go down the list of characters in that show just because, and kind of try and roleplay like I would be one of them. I think I wasn't really roleplaying too much with Rick Grimes in the first one, but I thought it'd be a cool idea, and I hope you guys are on board with it. In this particular episode, and hopefully future episodes, as long as we don't die, this is going to be Shanewalsh, so Rick's best friend. It's kind of a butthole in the show, but this is going to be kind of an alternate timeline to where Shane actually, well, is a little bit different, mainly because he's going to be on his own, obviously. And heck, I may even throw a little bit more of a southern twang in there with his accent. I know in the show he's kind of got like a little bit of a southern accent going, so I might throw that in there just to kind of role play along with it a little bit and make it a little more entertaining. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Once again, thank you so much to all of you that have been tuning in and subscribing. The support is overwhelming and means a lot to me, and I wish each and every one of you a wonderful holiday, given that this will be released a little bit after Christmas. I hope you all had a wonderful one and spent some time with some family and got fat off some eggnog and cookies. So with that being said, everybody, enough rambling. Let's jump into this.
Another morning waking up at the station. This was becoming the norm. As the last couple of weeks, we've had a lot of missing person cases, so I've been catching up on paperwork, ending up passing out of my desk. This is the first morning, however, no one's in already. It's 7 o'clock. Usually the chief's in at this point. I began thinking maybe it was training day, or maybe just some people had the day off. Regardless, I didn't see anything posted, and I was still confused as I began wandering around the station. Regardless of what was happening, I decided to do my daily routine, as I've been doing these last couple weeks. Go grab my gym bag from the locker room. I noticed once again there was nobody even showering in here. Kind of a blessing in disguise. I don't need Perkins and Adams doing their shower shenanigans while I'm here. But I did find it quite odd that there was nobody in the dispatch office. Now that's weird. That's a 24/7 job. Thought maybe people would be pulling up if I went to the parking lot. Instead, I was met with a dreadful sight. Officer Sherry was down. I was stunned, but immediately went to check to see if there was any signs of life, and there wasn't. I noticed a man shambling out of the fog towards me. I began to yell at him, telling him to back away. The scene was not safe, but he didn't stop. He came shambling towards me faster and faster and did not listen to my warnings. I didn't have my pistol on me, so I couldn't defend myself well, but I told him to remain still. The only response I got from him was some kind of growling, gargling, hollow noises. No words. I began to see my fellow officers. Adams was the first. I thought I'd have some backup here, and he was doing the same thing, shambling towards me mindlessly, and he did not stop. As my view changed, Perkins came too. Same thing. I had to defend myself. This is not what I wanted to do. I was screaming at them, telling them to back away, that I would attack, but they did not listen. I didn't know what to do. They wouldn't stop. I had to put these men down, so I did. More of these shamblers came out of the fog. I had to get back inside. I had to collect my thoughts. I didn't know what was happening. Palms were sweaty and my hands were shaking. My mind was racing. I had to get a drink of water to get a hold of myself. I began to make my way around the station to the reception area and leave out of the front door this time. As I did, I began to think of my best friend Rick and his family. I just kept thinking, are they alright? Are they okay? They're the only people that I really cared about in this world. I didn't really have any family left that I loved or worried about. I began to try to make my way to their house. As I did, I tried calling Rick, on their home phone and their cell. I didn't get a response. On the way back, traversing this neighborhood, it looked the same, but it did not feel the same. The fog didn't help. And these people, whatever was wrong with them, they were all doing the same thing, just mindlessly wandering around. And then when they saw me coming towards me, I made it to Rick's street, and I couldn't believe it. Chief was his neighbor, and his house was burnt to the ground. What was going on, I thought. After making it to Rick's house, I couldn't get through the front door, and the house key was missing and wasn't under the mat. I made my way to the back where these people were just continuously trying to get at me. I had to defend myself. I didn't know what else to do. I dispatched 2 more in the back before making my way inside. Once there, I began to call out, "Rick, Carl, Lori, are you here?" With no response. I investigated the downstairs and nobody was around. It had to be upstairs, right? It was 4th of July weekend, so Carl would be at the house. I went ahead and checked his room. He wasn't there, so I headed towards the master bedroom. And what I would see there would shock me to my core. My best friend and his family were all over the floor and all over the walls. I made my way to the outskirts of town towards my dad's house, where I began to talk to Rick and his family, or at least talk to their graves. I didn't know where I wasn't sure where you'd want to be. This is the best place I could find, Rick. I'm so sorry, man. This isn't fair. Why did this happen? Why are these people doing this? Why did they do this to you? For God's sakes, Carl's only 10 years old. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't get there quick enough. As I began expressing my thoughts to Rick and his family, I also began thinking about what I was going to do if anybody was going to come along and help. I was lost at this point, confused, hurting. I don't know why this happened, man. I don't understand it. But I promise you, Lori, and Carl, I swear I'll survive as long as I can. After swearing survival, I mindlessly walked towards town. I assumed I would need some stuff to last me for some time. I remember some of my firefighter buddies saying that they were stocked up pretty well at the fire station. I headed that way. All the while, I had this pain, this anger, this guilt on my mind, this sadness. I didn't know where to put it, with also this heating up feeling in my chest, this anger that I didn't know what to do with until I found it. These walkers, what bothered me before about dispatching of them no longer did. I actually kind of enjoyed it. Made short work of these 2 fellas, and I decided to head upstairs, where thank God they had some pickles. It's the small wins in this world, I guess. And my friends weren't wrong. They were stocked up pretty well here. I could find better gear to kind of protect me from these walkers. I think that's just what I'm going to start calling them now. I made my way to the medical closet, where I stocked up on medicine. Once fully loaded, and I couldn't carry anything else, I decided to head back to the farm, with these thoughts on my mind slowly fading away. The confusion and sadness no longer bothered me. Yes, I was still mourning my friend, but I was beginning to be okay with what was happening. Posting up in my dad's house would probably be the best thing. After all, he was up north on a fishing trip, and given what was going on, he probably wouldn't be coming back. It's okay though, we weren't really that close. But his house, and the area around it, will do well for the coming weeks, or however long we have to survive till someone comes along. While looting the Morrison's house, who were already taken by whatever was going on, I noticed their radio going off. The news was talking about what was going on, and it sounded like people really didn't know what was going on. So this made me think that help wasn't really going to come. And weirdly enough, I was okay with it. At this point, I began to concoct some goals in mind, things to get started on if I was going to survive here. And goal 1 would be to clear out the surrounding area of these walkers. Line them up nice like. Boom! Oh man. Oh man. All that shooting at the range really paid off with the rifles. I began to disassemble the white picket fences around the house. These weren't really good for protection. On occasion, heading inside, learning what I could from the telly, because for whatever reason, there was carpentry skills, survival skills being played on repeat, for whatever reason. I began to put those carpentry skills to the test. I decided to start constructing walls outside. If I could get an exterior going, a perimeter going around this house, I might be able to last a little longer. Keep out the damn deadheads. I worked well into the night, trying to get up what I could, but I would need more supplies, more nails, more planks, and I was tired. It was time to go to sleep. As I headed back inside, I did remember the thing I told Rick and his family, that I would survive as long as I could. Oh, and I will survive as long as I can.